Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Menino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, everybody. It's Michael Menino, and welcome to Driven, Unscripted Success podcast. Today on the podcast, we're interviewing professionals who share their experience with you, the audience, on how they got to where they're at today. Zooming from the beautiful island of Vienna, Austria, is Simon Severino. How you doing, young man?
Hey, Michael. Hey, everyone.
Hey, how you doing? Listen, thanks a lot for being on the show. I have a very special guest here. Simon is a world-class speaker. He speaks all around the world, basically, but doesn't leave his hometown.
Correct. It's 2025. You don't have to leave town to help people.
That's true. So do me a favor, tell everybody what a great guest I have. Tell them a little bit about yourself, how you got to where you're at today, and where you're at today.
I've been doing one thing only the last 22 years, and that is helping business owners save time and scale revenues, because those are the two main headaches. Like if you run a business, one thing is that you create a wonderful prison for yourself that drives you. And so that's one problem that I help solve, like regain your time and your freedom that you actually wanted to have in the beginning. That's why you went on your own. So, and the other thing is, in order to stay in the game as a business owner, you want to have a full pipeline all the time and win deals at the prices you want. So that's the second thing that I help them solve, the sales part. And I've been doing this for 22 years. Over time, we went more and more digital, and now we are so digital that we're basically like Jarvis and Iron Man, right? I'm Jarvis, and they are Iron Man. They are in action. They need to solve stuff. They're moving fast, and they don't want to stop and wait for 3 weeks until Simon flies to their city and has an 8-hour workshop with them. They want to say, hey, Simon, I'm launching this thing. I'm not sure about the price. Simon, tell me. This is my plan. Criticize it, improve it. And they want their answer in the next 10 minutes, ideally. That would be helpful. And so that's who we are right now. At Strategy Sprints, that's exactly what we do. We are the Jarvis to Iron Man, and we have different ways of doing it. But basically, we're on their phone, and we help them in the moment when they need help with regaining time and with accelerating sales.
I like that. I like that a lot. So how do you do that? What is your day to day? What do you do all day? What does your typical day look like? Just is it? I hate to say this, stomping out fires or this team building?
Yeah. So a 90-day sprint is very intense days. We meet every Monday with our clients for a 1-hour strategic session. That means we look at the overall business, how you generate awareness, interest, engagement, closing, retaining, upselling, and referrals. So that's basically a business from a sales standpoint. And so in each of those, in each moment right now, you have one bottleneck. A bottleneck means if you improve that by 20%, just slightly, the overall throughput improves by more than 20%, because that's the current constraint. And so 10 minutes, what's the constraints? We run over those parts and say, oh, this is the constraints. Okay, what are the experiments, the activities for the next 6 days? We define some. It's my job to help them come up with good ideas. Then I show them how to run those experiments, and then they run it until Friday. On Friday, we come back together. Okay, let's measure the experiments. What were the inputs? What were the outputs? We call that the sprint dashboard. So each experiment has numbers. Oh, we've sent 40 emails with that A version of the text, and we've sent 40 emails with the B version of the text. So we measure A versus B, and now we know assumption versus reality. And based on that informs the next sprint. So it's 12 sprints of 7 days each, Monday to Friday, 90 days. And we have sprint coaches that run those meetings. And I'm in the background getting tagged all the time on our app. We have a private app with all our clients. And so I get tagged. Hey, Simon, I'm sending this email. What's a better subject line than this subject line? Hey, Simon, I want to do a webinar, but for the love of God, it's not filling. What should I do? Should I cancel it? Is there anything that I can do to still fill it? It's happening in 13 days. And so I get tagged, and I'm Jarvis to those Ironmans, and I answer. So that's my day. I'm here, I'm getting tagged, and I'm helping all operations run in all countries, in all industries, and being Jarvis to the Ironmans out there.
That is a great. I love your analogy. You're Jarvis to the Iron Man. That is phenomenal. There's a lot of competition in what you do. What sets you apart, and what comes easy to you that comes hard to everybody else?
Yes, it's very competitive. And last week we're getting ready to launch our second book right now. It's together with Jay Abraham, who also might be, but he might be a competitor. Well, we're both great at specific things, and they are complementary. So we even partner. Jay and I are writing this book together. Yeah. And this is the book. And another competitor of ours is Verne Harnish, who has also an amazing methodology called Scaling Up, right? It's famous. And so this is Verne, who is endorsing our book. So it's three competitors in one image, right? Jay and Simon write a book together, and another competitor endorses the book. So this is Verne Harnish. If you're only listening, I will read it to you. I'm showing the book Time Freedom, which is coming out in a few weeks. And then it says, Jay and Simon compressed decades of hard-won breakthroughs into clear, actionable business strategies. Each chapter pays for itself in time saved and revenues added. Verne Harnish. So yes, there is competition, because competition shows you that there is a market. If there is no competition, what are you even doing? There is no market. Where there is a market, there is competition. But how to use competition? You can fight against it. That's this metaphor of a red ocean and a blue ocean. In a red ocean, you're fighting against others and everybody's losing blood. But there is a blue ocean where you carve out your specialty and then you partner up with others. For example, Jay Abraham, his brilliance is he thinks across industries and across disciplines. And if you are in consulting, he looks at your business model and say, oh, that's what you need to do. I saw this working in the food industry. And you would never think about it because you are in consulting. You think like consulting businesses do. But he has seen, so many things over 40 years. And he goes, oh, that person did it and solved it. This is what you should do. This is the playbook. So his genius is breakthroughs from looking across disciplines, across industries and disciplines. He brings in philosophy. He brings in disciplines and industries outside of your area. That's his genius. Our genius at Strategy Sprints is we systemize, we organize well. Because now that you know, okay, that's the breakthrough, you have to get your people aligned from Monday to Friday, and on Friday you have to do a quick reality check of what's actually working. And that combination of having a breakthrough plan and having an execution that's tight from Monday to Friday, that's a wonderful combination. That's why we are partnering, right? Because when you have that, that's why our clients win, because you have both. You have the breakthrough idea and you have the execution during the week. And that's the best environment for you to succeed.
I agree. The power of partners that I've been learning the last few years. Most of my career, I've been working on my own and, people working for me. But as soon as you partner up, the world opens up.
Correct.
Right.
And another one that I can share is Marshall Goldsmith. Your audience might be familiar. He's the coach of all coaches, right? He's the guy who changed coaching. He said, hey, you are the CEO. I don't get paid until I give you results. So he shifted radically how we charge for coaching. He said, you don't pay me. We work for 6 months. Then we measure the impact of our coaching, and then you pay me $250,000. Deal? And they were, oh, deal, let's go. And so he did that. That's Marshall Goldsmith, genius. And he got paid because it was very impactful. It was a very
Because it
practical
works.
thing. It works. And Marshall read our book, is endorsing the book. It says, it shows you how to design a business that funds your freedom. It's a blueprint for success that feels as good as it looks on paper. That's Marshall Goldsmith.
Nice. If someone listening to the podcast wants to get better at what you do, what suggestions, what tips and tricks would you give them?
One thing is to separate your impact from the time that you put in. Most of us, we sell our time for money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad idea. A very bad idea. Next time you make an offer, think from the other side. Hey, what is this creating on their side? Is this reducing their costs, reducing their risks, reducing their headache, reducing friction in how they work? Or is this increasing revenue, increasing profitability, increasing time freedom, increasing independence, increasing optionality? That's your offer. Your offer is not 7.5 hours or 15 minutes or 3 months. That's not the offer. The offer is, I help you reduce your costs by so and so much %. And your time investment and your monetary investment is 1/10 of that. That's the best offer. 10-to-1 ratio. I help you make $200K. I charge $20K. That's an amazing offer. And time is out of the equation. Nobody cares about time. Time is condensed anyway. If you're an expert, let's say you're an expert photographer. I want the best portrait. It will take you 7 minutes to make that. But you're not charging 7 minutes. You're charging for the best portrait. And it took you 35 years to get the best gear, the best angle, to know when the light is right. And so you're charging for those 35 years. But I don't care if it takes you 35 years or 7 minutes. I want a portrait, right? I want the best portrait.
I want the best portrait.
Yeah, and that's what you charge for.
I love that. I know Alex Hormozy started a program a long time ago, like 10, 15 years ago, where you would lose weight. He'd go to gyms and he'd have this weight loss program. And if you join the program, you just put $500 in. And at the end of 2 months, I think it was, if you didn't lose 10 pounds, he gets to keep it.
You get it back. Yes.
If you do it, so it's completely up to you. And you think 20%, 15-20% of the people didn't succeed. They just gave up and left the money. And he made millions doing that. And like you said, performance-based. That was an opposite performance-based. If you don't do it, it's the motivation to get it done. How do you like working like that? How do you like working? You're performance-based, correct?
What we do is we add $200,000 to the people that work with us. And the way they do it depends. It's solopreneur, it's a small team, or is an enterprise. So we're working with these very big teams. They want, 5 people from our side on their team, and they want people. Now I'm stuck on this image. How do I get back? And then
I don't know computers, buddy. This is on you.
Yeah. And then there is small teams, and then there is solopreneurs. So solopreneurs, we help them with community. In our community, it's 24/7 on our phone, and they can tag me directly. And it's just $49 a month instead of, a sprint is $9,000 a month. And so the highest intensity that we help is for the sprint, because we can one-on-one, we can go deeper. But then some entrepreneurs say, I don't have 9,000 a month. I have 900 a month. Okay, we put them in small groups. still weekly coaching, and it's still with our time-saving blueprints. But it's a small group, so you are with 5, 6, 7, 8 others from a similar complexity, not always the same industry, but the same problem to solve. Let's say it's a marketing problem, or you're building a paid community, or you're scaling your YouTube channel. So it's similar problems to solve, but 5, 6, 7, 8 people together, weekly group coaching. And then some of them are a solopreneur. They say, I don't even have 900 a month. I say, okay, no problem, 49 per month. And you are on our app. It's a Strategy Sprints app. We call it the Sprint Club, where people can tag me anytime. And I'm their Jarvis. Those are the 3 ways we help different business owners. Yeah.
Nice. That is fantastic. I love that you have something for everybody, which not everybody has. That is very interesting. Over time, I love that.
Yeah, don't build it at once, right? We had 22 years. We started only first with their main program, 10 years only main program. And then you unbundle some of that you have built because it was pulled from you by your main clients in your main program. And then you can unbundle it and reuse it for the group clients. And then you can unbundle some of that and reuse it for the community. Then it makes sense. If you're listening to this and you go, oh, I should also create 3 different offers. Well, it's a lot to create in a given moment. Create one, get that over 1 million, get that in a scalable way, and then you unbundle and reuse content pieces of that. Because of course, if you're working one-on-one and you have things that work, now you can save them and reuse them for cohorts. But you have built them in that highly profitable main program. That's important. Don't spread yourself too thin and have multiple offers at once. Build the high ticket one first and then unbundle from there.
I like that. That is great advice. That is awesome. So, Simon, what is one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome in career, and how did you do it?
Every day is full of challenges. Every single
one of the biggest. I
day.
know. I know.
We have 5 fires a day happening in multiple countries on multiple products every single day. And I have 3 little kids. So, they're also coming in. They might come in the next 2 minutes and say, my brother just took my iPad or what. So there is always something going on. What I like to do is I begin the day, I'm 45. I run a global business. I begin the day with me time. So the first 2 hours of the day are my time. And that's important. You must say, how can you do that? You have 3 little kids, global business. Where do you find 2 hours, Simon? Everybody can find 2 hours. If you're a morning person, take them before everybody wakes up. If you're an evening person, cut Netflix.
There you go.
Here you go. You have 2 hours every day.
You just got 2 hours.
That's your me time. So I start the day with 2 hours for myself. That's working out, reading, listening to audiobooks, drinking coffee. That's my thing. And getting briefed about what happened yesterday. That's my thing. First 2 hours are just that. And then the morning, I don't accept meetings in the morning because my morning energy. So listen to your energy. Feel into your energy, right? I know that in the morning, I can take the biggest decisions and I can take on the biggest, hardest tasks. That's why I don't have meetings until my lunch. I have heads down work. I build stuff. Like I build the Jarvis app or I build a full book. For that, you need concentrated energy, deep work. And then after lunch I enjoy with my kids. We don't have them somewhere outside a daycare. They're here. I cook for them. We have fun. We play something together. And then afternoon, I have everything that's more outside related. Giving interviews, meeting my own team, meeting partners. Like right now, we're planning this launch of the new book with 26 partners, strategic partners. And so I'm meeting them right now and keeping them excited, making sure everybody has this wipe copy, aligning everybody and being the pacemaker for that. But that's in the afternoon, right? And then in the evening, if you're self-employed, you could work forever. So I put a line in the sand and I say, when this time comes, that's my dinner time with my family. And afterwards, it's only my wife or my friends that get time from me. And you need that line in the sand. Otherwise, you could work forever, because work is exciting when you own the company.
That work is exciting. I agree with that. I agree with that more. I love what I do. And if you love what you do, you really don't work. Right?
Correct.
Has there been a book or podcast? So you said you were in the morning, you have a lot of me time. Is there a book or podcast, something that really changed your outlook or your approach on business?
Yes. So I listen to 50 audiobooks per year. So it's an hour of a morning run that I listen to audiobooks, and that is 7 times a week. And most audiobooks that I listen to are around 6 hours. So per week, I can listen to one book while I'm running. And this year, two have been outstanding. One is called Snowball, and it's a biography about Warren Buffett. Lovely book. And one I was listening today in my morning run, also a great book. It's called Thinking in Bets. And she's a poker player turned academic decision-making expert. Brilliant book, which is about decisions and how you really discern luck from skills, because you can take a great decision which goes horribly wrong, and you can take a terrible decision and have great outcomes. So how do you know actually when you're taking a good decision versus a wrong decision? The book is about that. Brilliant.
Wow. So a gambler turned entrepreneur.
Yes, she is an academic researcher now about decision making,
Wow.
but she started in poker.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's got to be super cool. So now, which one is that book called? The Snowball is the Warren Buffett one, and what was that one called?
Thinking in Bets. That's Annie
Thinking
Duke.
in
She would be a
Bets.
great guest for your show. Thinking in Bets.
I might look her up on that one. Thank you for the advice. I appreciate it. When you have people working with you, what is your how do I put this, leadership style? How do you motivate? How do you get a team on board and focused on the mission at hand?
Same thing that we do with our clients. The focus card, which is this orange thing here. Our strategy is always on one page, on one spreadsheet, which is called the focus card. It has 2 tabs. First tab is our long-term vision, how we break it down into the annual activities and 90 days activities. And every Friday, each activity has one metric that's measured every Friday. So let's say an annual goal is we're writing a book. 90 days, it always says, okay, Simon needs to write this kind of chapters. They end with this call to action. And then every 7 days, we then measure book creation in that stage or book promotion when the book is done and gets out. Mm-hmm. So that's our strategy. This is how we make sure that everybody knows what the direction is and what we're building and shipping. And each Monday we look at it, and everybody has one swim lane. Swim lane means you don't have to ask anybody for permission, for budget, for anything. You build it, you ship it, you measure if it works, and on Friday you report. So the culture is very entrepreneurial. Everybody is their own boss, everybody drives, and we don't stop frequently. So we don't have meetings from Monday to Friday, because we don't have any committees and there is nothing that stops you. You don't have to ask anybody. So you build, you ship, you measure, and on Friday you report. Everybody has one swim lane. Like, I'm doing the book. I'm not meeting anybody about the book. I'm not asking anything. I'm just shipping the book. Mm-hmm. And then Michelle is doing marketing. She's just doing marketing. She's not asking me, should I do this or that? And then Lou is doing podcast. He doesn't ask me either. So we are organized in swim lanes. We want everybody to be end-to-end responsible and independent. And every Friday, we want to have that reality check. Hey, is what we think that the market needs and what the market actually needs, is it aligned, or are we making things up? That's the Friday meeting. And that's our leadership style. You can call it agile, you can call it distributed. I think it's kind of both, because everybody has so much independence that you can say, okay, it's very distributed. But every Monday and every Friday we're coming together. So it's also quite tight.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like it a lot. There's a very unique perspective on it. The Monday and Friday and the work week in between. And is the people that work with you all around the world, or in your country?
Everywhere. From Los Angeles to Singapore to the Philippines, we are everywhere, because, the world has shifted from being local to really being organized around time zones. Mm-hmm. If you want to build a global company today, you basically need one person per time zone, and you can cover the whole globe.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I like that. So that's really good.
You have to think the world as being in vertical slices, because the time zones are vertical slices. Yeah. And if you have one person, not even a full hub or a full team, if you have one person that's accessible per time zone, you can actually help the whole world on a given moment.
Right. That's awesome. You have everybody at all times. I like how you do that. Sounds like things are going pretty well for you financially. Thinking about the future, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Have you ever considered ways to make income without doing much work?
Oh, absolutely.
How do you do that?
Oh, yeah. I do this, and I also teach this. So there are 13 ways to generate income as a business owner. Mm-hmm. And only the first 3-4 are active. The next 3-4 are actually recurring, residual, and even passive. And so let me give you an example. Let's say you're a business owner and you are great at consulting, right? You help people with marketing. So first income stream is you consult one-on-one. When you have that going and we optimize that, then I will help you create the second step with these small groups, cohorts, subscriptions. Now you're adding income with the same knowledge and the same tools that you were using. You're not changing anything, but you're adding a group element. Now it's 1 to N. So you're doing the same thing, but it's more scalable. So it's less tied to your time. And it's also recurring because it's a subscription. Next thing that we're going to add is licensing, book royalties. And now you see, this is getting now completely abstracted from your time. So for example, our first book, Strategy Sprints, came out in English, but then publisher sold the rights to the Chinese version and then to the Russian version. And now there are completely autonomous impact out there without zero effort. I have never been to Russia. I've been once to China. So it's totally unrelated to me doing anything. While I'm sleeping, this is generating royalties as income in China and in Russia for me. And then there is also investing that we teach, both compounding, but also income investing, how to generate income, both with options and with dividends. And so there's 13 ways to create income. And when we coach people, we move from the most actives to the recurring ones to the residual and passive ones. And you want to have 5 to 7 income streams going on at all times. That makes you really resilient, because one of them can always be impacted. We have seen things happen over the last years. if you have 5 to 7 going on, you are very resilient. And that's what we teach in the Sprint Club.
That's awesome. I love that. We do multifamily, and multifamily is we buy apartment complexes and let the tenants pay the mortgage down and pay us. Perfect. That's probably one of your streams. Wrapping up in the interview, I think you talked a lot about it, but what exciting plans do you have for the next 6 to 12 months?
The one plan, and that's having fun.
Oh, that's a great plan. That is the greatest plan ever. That is the greatest plan. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes. So if you think in goals, there's always something missing, right? And you're always kind of miserable because it's somewhere there is the reward, but here you are suffering to get there. Let's try something else. What if I enjoy every single moment? I get to help people. I get to be a father of 3. I get to work out 2 hours every morning before the sun goes up. What if I look at it from that perspective? So now I'm having fun already. And I'm living my rich life right now. Mm-hmm. I ask myself, if I wake up tomorrow a billionaire, how does my day look like? And I literally try to live that day right now. Mm-hmm. Right now. And you would be surprised. It's not much different if I make $1 billion than if I make 120K in profits per year, because there is diminishing returns on all this material stuff. So in the end, it's really about who do I spend the time with, and how can I be impactful and helpful. So, my kids, my wife, my friends, and my clients and my team. That's the people that I'm here to serve. If I'm making $1 billion or if I'm making 120K in profits, doesn't change much from that perspective, right? Even if they pick the best universities, that's not as much as you think. So from if you ask yourself, what is your rich life? You are probably much nearer to it than you think. And that's why my only plan is enjoy the heck out of right now. And if I come to that with this energy, I'm on a higher energy, on a higher frequency than if I'm struggling and hustling. And so I'm not tired. I'm showing up present and in service. And that makes everything else easier. And guess what? When you help people succeed, they will help you back and it will flow back, right? And everything else is downstream of this. This is how I look at life.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That was fantastic. I can shorten it in that is amazing. Yeah, that is amazing. I'm sure the listeners are going to love it. I remember talking with somebody a long time ago, and they said, I'm not happy. And I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And they said, you're not going to try and make me happy? I'm like, no, happiness is a choice. You either choose to be happy or not. And then they finally got it, but what you're saying is you're choosing happiness first. Beginning of the day, the end of the day, all day.
Who else is going to choose it for me, right?
That's true. That's absolutely true. Nobody will choose it for you. You have to choose it for yourself. That is fantastic. I think I found the name of the podcast. So I got to think of a name, and choose happiness is probably going to be the name of it. Hey, Simon, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day for my listeners and helping out as much as you possibly can. If somebody would like to get in contact with you, how would you recommend they do that?
The book is on Amazon. It's called Strategy Sprints. And I hang out mainly also on strategysprints.com. People can find, I think, over 20 of our tools that we discussed the focus card. That's one of our 20 tools that help you save time and accelerate sales. And they are all open source. People can go to strategysprints.com, download many of them, and just getting started applying them. If they want to do more, they can try our community, 7 days for free. It's all on strategysprints.com.
All right. Thank you so much for being on. I really do appreciate it. I can't thank you enough. It was a great interview. And if anybody would like to hit Simon up, please do. And for everybody else, please like and subscribe and hit the notification button. And we're very happy to have one of the best interviews I've had in a long time. Thanks, Simon.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success Podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.